Welcome back to Engine Shop Joe. This should be an interesting video for everybody. I think it's worth watching. I'll keep it as short as possible. What happened was I got a text with a screen print of the faults in an ECM, and every item, every module on the data bus had an active fault for no communication with the ECM. It was listed as abnormal update rate. And we're talking about the VGT, all the temperature sensors, the def tank sensor, everything. The NOx sensors, the particulate matter sensor, all of it had active faults. So I just told Jeff I'll come on down, or Jake, I'll come on down to the shop. I did. Here's what happened. And this is the fault list, and these are everything that's active. And Jake had done a repair on some wiring the weekend before on a Saturday, and the driver picked the truck up Monday morning, and he drove it all day, and he came back Monday afternoon a little early and said that his dash said that the thing was going to derate. So this is what Jake pulled out of it. And as you can see, both NOx sensors were offline. The VGT was offline. The DPF temperature sensor was offline. The SCR temperature sensor was offline. The SCR monitoring system was having trouble because it couldn't get any information. And it also had diesel oxidation catalyst conversion efficiency below normal range. So let's take a look at what we found. First thing I did when I got there is I told Jake, unplug every module that has 1939 data bus going into it. So we unplugged the NOx sensors and the VGT, went around by the after treatment, unplugged all those. And the reason I did that is I wanted to see if the termination resistor had broke or failed. That's what I thought happened. So after we unplugged everything, I hooked up my ohm meter to the engine harness, and I got 1.1 ohms. And that number should have been between 118 and 123 ohms. So now we know that somewhere the data harness is shorted. So we've got everything unplugged. We've only got 1.1 ohms. So now we've got to start checking. So I said, Jake, let's go over by the terminating resistor over by the after treatment and start there. So here's how it went. There was 2 short harness extensions on the main after treatment harness that came up from under the truck. This was one, and then there was a second one. When I unplugged this one, I walked back over and looked at my meter that was monitoring the resistance on the data bus harness. And when this harness was unplugged, it jumped from 1.1 ohm to 122 ohms. So I thought, this harness has got a short in it somewhere. I plugged this back in, it went back to 1.1 ohms. I took my meter and checked this whole harness out. I could find nothing wrong with it. We cut the whole thing open and looked at it, couldn't find anything wrong with it. So we taped it back up, put everything back together. I plugged it back on the truck, and as soon as I plugged it on, I went back to 1.1 ohms. So here's what was going on. This slide is a block diagram of the entire data bus on the engine harness. It starts up at the top right where the ECM plug is. It goes across the turbo VGT. I used 2 different color greens just so you could distinguish between the 2 wires. Okay, so these are all the devices that are plugged on it. on this particular data bus harness. You see the 120 ohm top left termination resistor. You see where it's wired into the harness on the Cummins schematic. Let me show you how it's wired into the truck in the real world, because this isn't where it's wired in. Next block diagram. This is the way the data bus is wired on this particular truck. And it's very important that you knew this, because otherwise it doesn't make sense that when I unplugged the purple 14-pin plug, which was the one you saw on the table, when we unplugged that, our meter reads 122 ohms, and we plug it back in and it goes to 0 ohms. Now, what was the problem?
Melted. But that's the outlet knocks, I think. And then you were saying the temperature sensors are here. But all of that harness looks okay. We got a electric tape butt connector bunch right here. Probably something in the main harness.
The video that you just saw, Jake had sent me on Saturday when he did his wiring repair down there. And what he did is he cut that high temperature sheath up towards the top, sliced it all off, sliced the tape off, found a bad wire down at the bottom where it had melted, and he did a repair. And then that sheet that he cut off was falling apart, so he had bought some high temperature tape, high temperature harness wrap tape from someplace I'm not going to say, and wrapped that whole thing with that tape, okay? Because he showed me the roll of tape that he used, and it said high temperature harness tape. So here's what happened. Okay, this is going to zoom as it does. I want you to look at the black wire on the left and then the other black wires, and notice how they're not distorted at all. They're nice, smooth, round wires, okay? Now we cut that harness back open, and look at those wires that were nice and smooth. And look up at the red arrow. That was actually stuck to 2 other wires, and they were melded through. So on the left is the face of J14 looking at the terminals. Wire number 1 through 6 were populated in this short harness that goes over the after treatment down and to a Canon plug. And there's wires in there, but there was no wires from the Canon plug back towards the chassis in terminals 1 through 6, just in this short harness. So wire number 11 and wire number 8, those were data wires, were melted and shorted to wire number 4. And that's why when I unplugged J13, I would read 122 ohms, but when I plugged it back in, we were shorting through the connections on the left side of the plug there, the green wires, shorting back through the plug to this pin 4, and it was shorting across the resistor. Now, this is the way that the termination resistor was wired in the system. It's not supposed to be wired like this, but that's how it was wired. It's supposed to go down by the def tank and wire in there. So on an actual schematic, this is how it was wired in, when it was supposed to be wired in like this. So an actual recap, you probably noticed on the fault list there was no fault for particulate matter or the NH3 sensor. That's because this engine did not have a particulate matter sensor. It did not have an NH3 sensor. So even though the wiring schematic shows those on this truck, they're not on the truck. So don't worry about those faults not being there. Second, Jay caused the problem by not putting high temperature sheath back over those wires, and in the course of half a day driving, they melted. So we got it fixed. If in fact the terminating resistor had been wired in like it was supposed to be, we would have had the same problem. But when we unplugged that little extension harness that I showed you that was making the fault go away, when we unplugged that, instead of having 1.1 ohms, we should have had an OL. So at the end of the day, we still would have had a problem. So I hope that this was clear. It took me a while to put this together because I tried not to confuse anybody. And if you have any comments, just put them down there, and if I can answer them, I will, if there's something you weren't sure about. Okay? This one really messed with me when I was down there. It took me a while to figure it out. So it's a good thing Bella was there to shake my hand at the door and receive a dog treat when I left. That was my reward. Thanks for joining me on Engine Shop Joe. See you next time.